Okay, so my name is Robert, and this is my plan of intentionality. This will be a little bit different than what most of the other fellows have been doing. It'll be more of a story of the year for fellows for me, looking back at it and how God's kind of grown me in certain aspects. One thing I do want to say is just like, man, it's just been a wild ride and just a great year with all the fellows. Especially just Josh, my mentor, who's just been huge instrumental into my life. And then my host family, Emily, who's just been awesome. Both Emily and her husband Josh and my mentor Josh have been just really great and just helping me work through ideas this year. Like so many of the other fellows said, it's just been just a hose of just information and just different deep ideas. So really what I'm about to do is just go into a deep dive of kind of how I've viewed, or how my view of work and faith and God has changed throughout this year. So I guess I'll just begin. In the beginning, what was the word? No. Okay. All right. So in the beginning, I met Ralston really late coming into this year in July. We had just a great conversation on his patio at his house. We had this burrito and these from some restaurant I don't think we've ever been back to. And so when I was there, he was telling me about the fellows and saying, like, you should really think about it. And the whole time I was just thinking, man, I'm going to go out and I'm going to be someone so great. I don't need this program. I'm going to be up there. I remember my mom saying, like, maybe you'll meet someone that'll be Billy Graham. And I'm like, Mom, I am the next Billy Graham, And I'm like, what is she thinking right now, And so that's what I thought of the Fellows Program. And so I left. And I went on a small mission trip to Mexico. And during that mission trip, I had a vision while I was praying with a bunch of old men who were sitting down there, and I'm laying up on top of a bunk, and I'm praying. And in this prayer, my mind just has a vivid image of myself, and I'm there, and I'm going to ascend to the heavens. And as I do that, I actually descend into the depths, and it's just black. And I'm sitting there, and I'm not really scared because I'm praying, and I just think, if I ascend to the heavens, you were there. If I descend to the depths, you were there. And so I just start praying. And as I start praying, I just give over my will. I say, your will be done, Lord. I'm here. And my body becomes a meadow, and this whole meadow and just surrounded by blackness. And I didn't know what that meant. I was like, okay, I think it's just give over my will, whatever that is. I had no idea. So I go back home and I fly back home, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like praying about going to the fellows, and I'm still on this journey of like, I need to go and do something. I need to go and do something. And the Lord just presses upon me to go to the fellows. And I just did not want to give him a year of my life. That was the last thing that I wanted to do, was sit there and be stagnant, it felt like. But the Lord knew what he was doing. So during the year, the beginning of the fellows, I was still against it. I was still against being there. And I didn't want to be there. I would have fun with people, but then in the end, I'm like, man, I'm going somewhere else. And I just didn't want to do anything. I wanted to just enjoy myself and really just consume material and just not really be around people. It was a weird dichotomy that's just going to my mind. And then in January, something changed. We went on this beach trip, and I was just looking at all these people and just how much I was missing by not joining in with the other fellows, by not really committing to them and committing to the actual fellows program. And so coming into January 1st, I decided, okay, I'm going to be here for the next 6 months, and then I'm going to go and do something. So I'll commit to learning from people and really trying to take in everything that I could. And so that's what I decided to do, is I decided to take in from taken from people and commit to the Fellows Program, to commit to being here for 6 months and not want to go and do something else, even though that was still on my mind so hard. We read a book called Recapturing the Wonder by Mike Costner, I think. And that really kind of hit me of like, man, I'm not really seeing God's glory because I'm like looking at the future, not enjoying the future now. And I remember this one winter night after I came back in January. My host family was gone. It was really, really cold, a winter night, snow's blowing, and I'm going out to bring some goats and Bjorn the dog some hay. And so I'm going out there, and it's just blistering snow, and I'm just kind of, I'm kind of irritated. I'm like, oh, man, I want to be inside, watching my movie, watching some show, doing something that I want to do. And I'm going there, and I'm feeding the goats. And as I'm walking out, just mad, I walk, and it's like something just yanks me and turns me around, and I see this barn, and I see Bjorn the dog, and I'm right here, and it's just black outside. The snow's just hitting my face, and I'm look and see, and the Lord's like, hey, look at this beauty that's around you. Look at this wonderful time that I've given you. And this dog is just so cute. I love this dog so much. And I'm like, why am I not enjoying this? Why am I not here enjoying what God's given me? And so I kind of just continued just to going on into feeding into that. And for the next few months, I kind of focused on, okay, let's try to see more. Let's be patient. Let's have peace. But that was still really hard for me. That was still really difficult because I was always wanting to consume material. I was always wanting to do things, and especially because I had decided to commit to Chattanooga and being here for the next few months, that I was so focused on like, I need to evangelize. I need to go out and do more. I need to be doing just so much more. And my mind was just caught up in that other than like people around me. I was just so focused on these other things. And although there was like a sense of joy, it was hard for me to sit in that all the time. It was just gone because I was so focused on doing things. And that's when this is maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, Nathaniel, who a lot of us have talked about, he discussed Galatians and Ephesians with us. Galatians started, and that was really amazing. I remember just being a weight lifted off my shoulder as I realized, hey, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go out and evangelize. Like, the Lord's got this. And that kind of put me into an apathetic spot. And I was like, okay, well, all right, this is it. Like, I just have to live by faith. That's fine. And that was great. And then Nathaniel brought Ephesians to us. And that kind of wrecked me. As a lot of the fellows know, that kind of destroyed me, because I realized, like, whoa, okay, there's a lot more to this. With the sovereignty of God and sort of just like Him choosing us and what that meant. But more than anything, that's when I realized that I've been saved through faith, yes, not by works, but that I am created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Man, what a beautiful verse. I started that hit me like a truck, and I realized, like, whoa, okay, what does that mean for me? Like, I've good works to do. I'm like, yeah, I went back to like, I need to go out and be a missionary. I need to go out and let's go and do more. And then something hit me. God kind of came back to me and was like, what was that book that you read in the beginning of the year? Not in the beginning of the year, but middle of the year. And he showed me Brother Lawrence. And he brought me back to that. My host dad, Josh, he actually, one day, my car was broken down. He drove me down the mountain back in like October or September. And he was talking to me about this dishwasher that loved the Lord so much that was his best thing that he could ever do for anyone. And I remember him saying that, and I'm like, I'm gonna be Billy Graham. I'm like, that's not it. I'm gonna be the missionary that takes over the world. I'm not gonna wash dishes. And coming back to this thought, I realized, holy cow, wait a second. What does Ephesians 2 say? That I'm creating Christ Jesus to do good works. Where are the good works? And then I started feeding on this idea of like, what does that actually mean? Where am I? And that made me realize like, whoa, the good works are here. The good works aren't evangelizing people I don't know. It's being around the community that I know. It's feeding into the people around me and being like, hey, these are the people that I want to be with. Holy cow. And like feeding into that and bringing more people into it. Not just one and done. It's going into them and being with them as much as possible. Brother Lawrence's quotes really, really helped me. Because as I realized that getting into God's presence, what that actually meant for him, it's not just he was only thinking about God, which he was, but in a way it was feeding into the love that God has for him. To like understanding like, whoa, like I don't need anything else because I have it all. And because I have it all, I can now do the good works that he's prepared me for. Because right now is the joy that I have. Right now is everything that I could ever imagine. I don't need more because this is it. The good works are what I'm here doing right now. It's the trust that he has planned for me, that he has put me in the spot that he wanted me, that he has guided me by his light, by his word. By practicing God's presence and continuously looking him, the soul familiarizes itself with him to the extent that it passes almost its whole life in continual acts of love, praise, confidence, thanksgiving, offering, and petition. Sometimes all this may merge into one single act that does not end, because the soul is always in the ceaseless exercise of God's divine presence. This completely just encapsulated everything that I had been searching for, because what it says is like, it's one act. Everything that I do is now fully into God's work. I don't need to go out and do anything else. I'm here doing it now. There's nothing else that I need. This is it. This is my one thing that I can do. And a big part of my life, I've been unwanting to work because I thought that wasn't it. That I needed to set myself up for leisure, for time just to myself, to enjoying my own time by myself. And now I realize like, whoa, that isn't it. God's divine presence allows me to like dig in and work, to pull weeds with my host dad. And I that day that we were doing that, I was just like, that is the joy set before us. That is it, is enjoying the community, enjoying the people, and working with people. So now, what does that mean for me vocationally? I have no idea. One thing is, man, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know the path set before me. All I do know is, man, I have a good work to do, and there's nothing else that I need to do. It's already done. And so now I can just live in full peace and knowledge that, hey, I have a joy and I have full freedom to go out and do anything I need or want. And I don't really need anything because he's gonna put the desires of my heart in me so that I'll be fulfilled through that. That's really awesome. Thank you all.